What if I told you that everything you've been led to believe in your life was a lie? Welcome to the Cult Film Showdown. This is James Cotta. I am joined by Nick Boxer
Dave doesn't live here, man.
and Jack Hall.
Am I the only one not stoned?
I'm not nearly stoned enough for this. This is the Cult Film Showdown's series of, we wanted to look at some movies. We've been looking at a lot of TV shows the past few series, and we wanted to look at some movies, but we wanted to pick some movies that, well, one, we could introduce our other hosts to try to get something off the beaten path, and also movies that were kind of on the cusp of qualifying as for our search for the ultimate B movie, but for one reason or another, we didn't think it would score well. So we're not scoring these films. If you go to wetalkpodcast.com, you can find our search for the ultimate B movie, 150 films that we talked about, and the top 10 is there, and a lot of amazing films along that journey. These we're calling Octagon Inappropriate. Our second movie. I hope you checked out our first episode of Catwoman. Our second movie is Jessie's Supernormal Regular Average Day. And Nick, none of the characters knew what was happening, so how about you give it a shot?
Sure. Although in your explanation of what we're doing here, I could almost see the quotes around movie and film as you said them for this one. Yeah. This one's a hard one to explain because our titular star, Jessie, is just having a day off, and her alarm clock wakes her up 2 minutes early, and she proceeds to the couch where she smokes a bowl and eats some dried pancakes, and then goes on a quest to find God and maybe kill him, who she might also be. She's also helped by a preacher and her roommate and a drug dude. I would love to say there was a story here. There really isn't. But there's a lot of fun shit that happens. I mean, there's topless nuns and rotten bananas. And the whole thing is as pointless as it can be, and I think that's the way it was designed to be, so I can't fault it for that. Did I get anything or miss anything, guys? I don't know.
Well, she's sent on a journey to find God, kill God, and party. In that order.
Yeah, in party. Got the list.
This was one I brought, and this was the movie that introduced me to Ellie Church, who has done a ton of B movies. I think she's got about a half dozen or 8 on Tubi, which is where you can see Jessie's Supernormal Regular Average Day. The title took me in, and also it was on Tubi, so that seemed like a match. And this team has done a few movies together. Brian K. Williams has a couple of credits, and all just wacky, fun flicks. Now, Jack, Hard Ass, Heart of Stone, Jack Hall. What do you think of this?
That's a stoner comedy. I mean, I've enjoyed some stoner comedies. I mean, Cheech and Chong is classic. This as a stoner comedy, because I'm not a stoner, I'm not the right person for this movie. It's not without its charm. It has a certain amount of charm. Ellie Church has a certain amount of charm as the lead. Some people who are surprisingly well cast. It has a really nice look for what's obviously a really small budget film. Some interesting camera stuff and set pieces and everything. But I'm watching it going, I can see why you wouldn't put this in the Octagon, because it's totally insane, but insane in a way that is totally on purpose. Like there's, it's a stoner comedy made by stoners for stoners, and you probably should be stoned when you watch it.
I actually had like a almost physical reaction, or maybe a mental breakdown after watching this, because I watched the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, actually. But once the movie finished, I questioned ever watching TV again. It was just sort of like, I enjoyed that, but what a waste of time watching TV is. It just made me question everything. It was just so dumb and wonderful and weird, and yeah, and admittedly I did spend way too much time trying to figure out if different actresses played the three topless nuns or if it was one nun on a green screen three times.
I think it was 3, but don't quote me on that.
It was not. It
It was one.
It was, yeah. Alice Winkler. She is nun 1, 2, and 3, and this was done with green screen. So it took me a long time as well. And this is the second time I watched it. It probably took just as long to figure out the first time, because I just didn't remember. But I mean, the way that there was the 3 nuns who are topless nuns with ski masks,
and pink chainsaws.
And chainsaws.
Pink chainsaws.
Pink
ski
chainsaws.
Masks
And
then the ski masks that you have to say have a certain S&M quality to them.
There's a proper balaclava. Yeah, it is a mix of a lot of things happening, and but yes, as a performance piece, like playing 3 different characters who are interacting, like that must have been interesting and a nightmare to film, to have everything match up, and then to be fairly convincing in with just changing posture, because it's like their boobs are like a lot alike. Are they the same alike, or are they mostly?
Well, from what I was able to determine, it was just posture.
It was, yeah.
All 3 characters had a distinct posture.
Yep. But it sells it. Alice Winkler, very interesting background. She's still making flicks, and I'm sure that even more of hers show up on Tubi.
Yeah, she has. I'm seeing right now 19 credits and 5 upcoming. So she's certainly busy.
Well,
I was thinking to myself, I'm amazed that this is 3 people, because I was sitting there going, like, can you imagine telling your mom this is like your first movie? Like, Mom, I got cast in a movie. Oh, who are you? Well, you'll never know it's me. I play a topless nun with a pink chainsaw. And your mom goes, thank God they won't know it's you. But this is, she had been in many movies, I guess, by this point. And, well, not many. This is, I guess, one of her earlier films. But she'd been in a few films with the same crew. As you mentioned, the guy who did this, what was his name? Brian K. Williams?
That's right.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, these same people were obviously like stoner friends who made movies for a little bit of money and had enough success to make another movie and another one. And I mean, he hasn't made a movie since this one in 2019. It's been 5 years, but yeah, she's continued to work. So, and Ellie Church, as you mentioned, she's I don't think she's working as much actually as is she? Does she have a lot as Alice?
She has
I think she has more
more
projects.
overall. Yeah. I'm trying to remember because Thrust was just a couple of years ago. They shot that just kind of after lockdown. They did it. I supported the Kickstarter, so I know that one. I haven't seen the newest couple, but 22 is not that long ago. Satanic Soccer Mom from Ohio. These titles are incredible. And yes, they all three of them collaborated on Space Babes from Outer Space, which title alone. Also,
I think they're all in Plank Face as well.
I think so. He didn't direct that one, but I think I believe they were. Yeah. It just seems like it's a film community. Thrust is was a lot of fun because they got a whole bunch of cameos in it, like Linnea Quigley. Jessie, super normal, regular, average day. It just was like happy sauce for me. There's nothing mean or dangerous. It's kind of, as you said, Jack, it's like it's deep thoughts, but stoner deep thoughts. But then the characters repeat over and over that nothing's real and everything you know is wrong, is a lie. So
Yeah, that's sort of what I had a little bit of a problem with, the utter pointlessness of this. I mean, it's probably best watched in 5 minute increments when you're not paying attention to it.
It's best watched when you're high, when you're really, really high.
Because I kept trying to like piece out a story and was wondering if they'd find God.
No, that's not the
That's
point.
what
there is no point. The point is there's no point.
There's no point. I watched the thing. I was hoping there would was. But
no, the point is to get high.
Movies that train me to expect, a resolution.
See, this is the problem with the film. Is it to me is like there's not much to say about it. It's not like a film where you can laugh at certain things because you can't go, I can't believe they made that choice. Because if you're high, that's the choice you would make. So I can believe they made every choice they made. It's like I say, it has a certain charm. And Ellie Church, what is your kind of? You say this is the first film, James, that you've watched with her.
Yeah.
So what is it kind of that draws you to her so much? I mean, she's charming enough, but
I think I think it is that like charming and commitment to the character. Like she goes along with like as the day goes. But yeah, just like there's like a joyfulness. She's not your traditional body type for the B movie queen. She's she's got a bit wider in the hips, but she's very confident in it. This is a very the cast is very kind of Riot Girl and Suicide Girl kind of thing, like a lot of like tattooed and confident women. The other one, I went into a couple more that were on Tubi, and the ones that really stood out were Amazon Hotbox, Space Babes from Outer Space, of course.
That does sound great.
But it was like, finding these, there's not a lot of actresses like this. There's not a lot of the kind of B movie actresses. And I just found her really fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely not a lot like this. She is kind of more the plus size model, tattooed and just a different look, as are the lady who plays the nun. Same thing, So I mean, yeah, they are more like real people than what
Yeah.
you're used to seeing in Hollywood.
We're not scoring this for the Octagon, but there is one shot in here that I think is worth mentioning that would score on our in the Octagon. We include the trauma car crash in this movie for
That's
no
right.
apparent reason.
For no reason at all.
Well, I mean, it looks great and it was shot. So you should include it. That's why trauma is included in every film.
For those who aren't familiar, trauma films, who are fantastic. One of their, I can't remember which film it was. Was it
It
Samurai?
was the
It
first Toxic.
was the first Toxic Avenger. They filmed this like car rollover explosion that cost them like half the budget of the movie. It was like so much work to actually have this thing, and then it became a gag that they were going to prorate that cost by using it in multiple films, and I think they must have used it in 40 films by now.
Oh
uh,
yeah, easily. It's
Although I didn't
tremendous.
see Lloyd listed in the credits or the trauma name on this film, although I wouldn't doubt he had something to distributing this.
yeah, I don't know what connections there other than he's just very supportive of independent filmmakers. I know I saw a little bit of an interview where Ellie Church said she drunk dialed him one night. So maybe that's where it came from.
That's awesome. Or stone dialed them, whatever. Yeah, no, it's the problem with the like I say, I think the problem is that there's not necessarily a ton to say about this. Like this wouldn't score in the Octagon because it's just not the type of film that scores well in the Octagon. And it's not necessarily a type of film you can dissect to death because it's did I mention I think somebody was stoned when they did this film.
I don't know. I think the other thing that really appealed to me about this was it feels like the 90s independent boom, where you had things like um, The
Doom
Incredible.
Generation.
Yeah, Doom Generation is a great
Yeah.
comparison.
I think that is the film I was thinking of when I was watching it.
Yeah, like it's not that it's about nothing. It's just um, like it doesn't offer any answers. I think is probably what's um, like the plus and minus of it. It doesn't wrap everything up in a bow. It's like these are things that happen, and um, the snail might be God. Is it? Uh, uh, I like the line of she reads a note that says the snail, and she's like, "Is it the snail or is it the snail?" Um, uh, and uh, she she's given bananas a couple of times. She's given two bananas that she later refers to as the bloody screamy one and the cocaine one.
Mhm. Well, there's a
One that
lot of other drugs besides marijuana done in this film.
oh, so many. Like yeah, like uh, Roger, the stoner drug dude who takes her on part of her journey, is paid off in a bag that's just marked drugs for Roger. There's so much going on in this film, and uh, that all of us came away with different things is great. And as Roger tells us, there are three sides to every story and two sides to a cassette tape. And I think that's where we'll leave it.
I think that's a good way to do it. Now on to a film that we'll do next time. Why I think we'll have a lot to talk about.
All right, that was Jesse's Supernormal Regular Average Day, and it must be seen to be believed. It is available on Tubi, has been for quite a long time. So get out and check that one out, and just search up Ellie Church. Check out what she's been doing, and Alice Winkler. Like they both are in a lot of fun films. And our next film in our series of Octagon Inappropriate is the 1995 Jean-Claude Van Damme sudden death. Terrorists, Stanley Cup Finals, vice president, and a fireman.
If that doesn't get you excited, nothing will. Even the
Yeah,
poster. Go look at the poster before you start this. Even the poster's amazing.
poster's incredible. All right, we are the Cult Film Showdown. You can support us on Patreon at Cult Film Showdown. You can subscribe and like and comment on YouTube at Cult Film Showdown. And we're on Instagram as Cult Film Showdown. We're sponsored by WeTalkPodcast.com, the home of the Octagon, our search for the ultimate B movie. We've also got quite a lot of episodes now since we paused the search. We're just waiting for more B movies to be made, I think. But we did a series on Masters of Horror. We did a series on The Hitchhiker, and we did a series on weird R-rated properties that were made into cartoons. Check out our YouTube because we'll have links to everything, including a list of the upcoming films so you can watch ahead. See you next time. Have you ever used a shoehorn, Nick?
I find them really just not efficient for anything.
But
they don't really work.
But you've seen one.
Yes.
Okay.
I own several.
I've used one like twice, probably.
I've tried to use them, can't figure out how.
It's probably like at a shoe store I use them. I mean, the three of us almost never wear anything that doesn't have laces, and I think they're really for that kind of shoe.
What brought that up?
It's asked like twice in the film.
There's a lot going on in that film.
Yeah, as Roger's first thing is, have you ever used a shoehorn?
Yeah, he's also eating maps. So.
And then, have you ever even seen one? So, can you prove that shoehorns exist?